Hello, everybody. Welcome to Michael's Record Collection. I am very happy to have with me singer, songwriter Terry Ilous. We're going to talk about Land of Gypsies today. He's been the former lead singer for Great White and XYZ. Terry, welcome to Michael's Record Collection.
Michael, how are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing great. I want to talk to you a little bit about this Land of Gypsies self-titled album that came out December 10th on Frontiers Music. This is you and Fabrizio Grossi on bass, Serge Simic on guitar, drummer Tony Mora with Eric Ragno on some keyboards, and additional guitars by Jeff Northrup. What is the genesis of this particular project? It's a little bit different than some of the things you've done in the past, but it's similar in some respects to other things that you've done in the past.
Michael, as an artist, I try to not repeat myself all the time, meaning musically, meaning I try to move forward all the time and create new things, new sound, but still stay in the same genre of music. Of course, I'm not gonna do rap, because I'd be terrible at it. I think it. So this particular project, when I get contacted by Frontiers, they asked me if I was interested in doing a new album. I said, yeah, as long as I do it the way I want to do it, meaning, I have a sound that I want to create, that I want to reproduce, actually, not create, reproduce. And they said, okay, what is it? I said, I want to be more 70s, more Bad Company, early White Snake, early Foreigner, Humble Pie. And they said, all right, we get the perfect producer for you, Fabrizio. Fabrizio Grossi, who's worked with some great artists, Glenn Hughes being one of them, and he's worked with the guys from ZZ Top. He's worked for everybody. He's a great producer. He understood my vision right away, and he said, yeah, I share your vision. I understand it. I know what you want to achieve, and let me put a band together. And he's contacted Serge and Eric and Tony, and that was it. It was very, very quick, very, very quick. The essence of a great producer, to be honest with you, is someone like him who understands the artist. He's not trying to change you to basically so you become him. That's the beauty of a great producer. He's trying to keep your identity intact. Do you know what I mean? But yet changing it a tiny bit so it becomes even better. So I really enjoyed working with him, very, very much so.
So what were the inspirations? I mean, you talked about some of the musical inspirations for Land of Gypsies, but sort of what led to that? Are these bands that you admired growing up? Is it the genre that you were most interested in at the moment? What was kind of the driving force there?
Well, Michael, I've always been a big fan of David Coverdale. The early days, early Rod Stewart, early or Humble Pie, all those bands, Paul Rogers, Patco. So I wanted to, I said, what do I want to do? I want to please myself. Because when I do music, it's really basically a masturbation, to be honest with you. I do things for me. I'm like, what do I want to do? I want to do a song like that. Oh, let's do it. It's not about the media. It's not about the fans. I have to apologize. It's about myself. And I believe that if you like it, if you do it from the heart, the media and the fans will like it. If you try to be something according to what they want you to be, they will feel it and they will say, this guy's fake and it's not real. So I did something to please myself and I said, well, I hope they like it. If they don't like it, it is what it is. But at least I was honest to myself, and I went back to those influences, to the people I really admire, as I said, those Coverdales and early Coverdale and stuff. And this is what I want to do,
Yeah. So was this one of those deals where everybody recorded their parts in their home studio? Did you get together for this? How did that recording process work?
Well, Michael, for this particular project, it had to be that way because due to the pandemic.
Sure.
Otherwise, we would have recorded live. When I do my own album, I like to record things live. I like to go in the studio, for example, and to say, are you guys ready? Ready, everybody, drums in one room, guitar. I do things live. with that particular project, we had no choice because due to the pandemic, everybody was home. So, except Fabrizio and I were together in the same room every day because we had to come up with a template for those songs. And then once we had that, we sent them to Serge, and we sent them to Eric and Tony.
Now, did you and Fabrizio write the songs together? Did you write the songs and bring them to Fabrizio? How did that work?
The songs were written already. Serge had some songs already. I had the songs already written. There's probably maybe one song I needed to finish for the album, but that's about it. The only thing that was not written were the lyrics. I contacted Jake and Northrop to do the lyrics, but as far as the music, I pretty much had a lot of the music written already. And so was same for Serge. Serge had a bunch of songs. He sent me a bunch of songs. He said, which one do you like? Well, I like Runaway. Great, let's do that. That was pretty much his idea. What I did is change the melody a little bit and change the pre-chorus or something like that. But the beginning, the riff was his idea. So other songs were mine 100%, except for the lyrics, of course. Like Shattered or Rescue Me, were these songs that they were completely done before I even entered the studio. Some of the songs were even written for XYZ or even Great White. I had, over the years, I had written so many songs that this one I'm going to give to XYZ, this one I'm going to give to Great White. Somewhere down the line was written for XYZ, for example, and we ended up not using it. Rescue Me was written a little bit for Great White, except for the lyrics. The music was written during my time with Great White. I wrote the music and said, oh, one of these days I'm going to introduce the song to them. Well, that didn't happen, of course. But, it is, that's the way it worked, Fabrizio was mostly, as a producer, he had the vision of, he was the glue. He was thinking, well, this has to go this way, this has to go that way, change the chorus, the verse should start this way, that way. And he's brilliant when it comes to that because he had the vision that I sometimes didn't see, I mean, I'm the painter and the artist, but he was the one adding his little touch, saying, well, how about this and that? And I'm like, oh, you're right. So brilliant. It was very easy to work with him.
Yeah. You mentioned Shattered. I think that's probably my favorite song on the record. I think it's a real throwback to that era. And I just wondered if, as that is my favorite song on the record, if you could maybe talk me through sort of the genesis of that song. Where did it come from? Where did it start? What was sort of added or taken away from it?
Thank you. I wrote that song after an event that happened to me, a musical event, and the lyrics are very positive. They're not negative at all. The event was, it happened a few years ago to myself, and I wrote that song after that. And I wanted to tell those people that I'm fine. I'm fine. Not only I'm fine, but check it out. How about that, my friends? And not in a pretentious way, but in a humble way, but also in how can I compare that? Michael, I'm a fighter. Meaning I'm a martial artist. Okay, I've been doing martial arts since I'm 12. So I've been in the ring many times. I've been knocked out. I've been, I've knocked out people. I've done many fights and training. And for me, it's like when you go in the ring. I compare music like the ring. You go in the ring, you put your gloves on, and somebody kicks your ass, and you fall down and you're knocked out. Well, you have two choices. You can stay down, and the referee says, stay down. Or there's a little voice who said, Adrian, and you're like, all right, you put the gloves on, so, I can see you. That's me. I'm basically like Sylvester Stallone without the money.
Yeah. So yeah, you're just letting people know that you got past this, that you're doing okay.
Yeah, in a good way. This is not negative. It's not like, fuck you guys, I'm going to do this. No, not at all. There's nothing better success is not about that. It just be humble and be grateful for what you have. And when even if somebody knocks you out, well, check this out. There's a lesson to learn from that. It's all not negative. It's not like poor me. Not at all. I said it many times. I said when Great White let me go was a great thing. You know, at first I didn't think so, and I was shattered. That's what I came up with. But I was never negative about it. I never said bad things about them, which I would never do anyway. I had a great time with them. I respect them very much. I love Mark and Scotty and Audie, you know, and Bridget. You know, they're great people, you know. But they have a good heart. They just wanted something different, you know. However, when I look back, I'm like, thank you for letting me go. Thank you, because I'm like a bird, you know. I need to expand. I need to see different horizons. I need to see different skies. I can't stay at the same space, do the same thing over and over again. And they have achieved a certain thing, which is fantastic. But they're doing that thing every day. Me, I'm like, no, my next album is gonna be something different. You know what I mean? I that's why I always admire people like Peter Gabriel or Paul McCartney or the Stones or Led Zeppelin, because from one album to another, you don't know what you're gonna get. You know, you listen to Zeppelin, the first album, Communication Breakdown, was a certain way, and then you listen to Physical Graffiti, you're like, wait a minute, that's not the same band. Wait, yes, it is. But they just matured. That's all. So as an artist, I like to think of challenging myself all the time, doing different things and working with different people. That's why I do voiceover. When I do voiceover, I get challenged like a mother, dude. I do things, I'm like, oh my God, this is out of my element. But I like to be out of my element because I get to be challenged and to question myself. Can I do it? Can I do it? And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. But I do it and I'm like, it wasn't too bad, you know, so it wasn't half bad.
So Land of Gypsies, do you have a favorite track on this album?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry. Rescue Me, I wrote because it's the endless search for love. As far as I'm concerned, I think love is the most beautiful thing in the world. And whether it's love for your parents, for your friends, for the world, for life, whatever, your kids. As far as this particular song, it's search for your soulmate, searching for finding that person. I find out that some people get to find that person and they have a beautiful life, and some people never get to that point where they find love. It's really sad, you know, and some people keep searching. So I decided to write that song from a personal point of view, and it's my favorite song.
Yeah. What kind of support are you going to be able to provide the album in terms of live dates? Are you going on a full tour? Are you just going to do a few dates? How is that? How are you set up for that?
Well, Michael, I got to be honest with you. I didn't know what to expect when I released the album, when they released the album, Frontiers. When I recorded the album, when I was done with it, I'm like, okay, well, here it is. Have a nice day, you know. And then I started to read the interviews and the reviews, and you know, from all over the world, and I'm like, okay, I guess people like it. I'm starting to get offers. Can you do a tour? Can you do this? You know, and I'm considering everything, my possibilities, of course. I'll be glad, I'll be happy to do a tour with the guys, of course. I just have to decide on where and when I have to do that. But as far as now, I'm taking it one thing at a time, and you know, I'm just being very grateful at the moment, very grateful and thankful for the amazing support I'm getting. It's surprising, I have to be honest with you, because I did this album without thinking too much. Like sometimes you think so much about something. Oh, is it gonna be the right song? Is it gonna be the right this? You know, you question yourself so much that in the end you really crap. You know, you're like, God, it sucks. But this particular album, you should have seen the way we recorded the album. It was funny. We mostly talked during the day, and Fabrizio and I were always together in a room, and I was presenting the song. He was like, okay. And then we start talking about coffee. You want a cup of coffee? You want an espresso? What about food? Hey, how about that food? You know, the Italian, they make better food than the French. No fucking way. You know, the Italian do better soccer than the French. No way. The French are the world team, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so we talked about, and then said, oh, we got to do a song real fast, you know. And then we did the song like without even thinking. It was like a reflex almost. When Fabrizio said, you have a song? I said, yeah. So I picked up my guitar. I said, I got this one. I said, I'm sorry. In my life, I've done so many things, came so easy to me. I can't find love, and what is my brain? Still a mystery. Okay, I said that, and he's like, great, let's do it. I didn't have the lyrics. I had the melody and the music, and I was doing na 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 na, and he said, "I like it." Okay, so we put the templates. I picked up my guitar. You click track, boom, boom, boom. Okay, well, let's move this part here and this part there. Okay, gone. What else do we need? We need a lead guitar. Okay, let's come up with a lead guitar. Okay, great. Here it is. Okay, I gotta go now. I gotta pick up my kid. Okay, bye, bye. That was it. Basically it. You know.
How long did it take to make this album?
It took a long time because of the pandemic. Okay. But honestly, the sessions, I arrived usually around 11:30. We talk about espresso, have a cup of tea, you know, talk about food. He's on the phone with Italy, blah, 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 you know. And then at 2:30, I had to go because I had to go pick up my kid from school. So from 11:30 to 2:30, we talk a lot and work for 10 minutes. And that was basically it. He said, okay, see you tomorrow. Oh, I can't tomorrow. I'm busy. See you when? Next week. That was basically the process. It was honestly, we didn't even think about it. He would call me and say, are you available next week? Like, no, I'm not. Okay, when? I don't know. There's really no pressure. And that's why it feels like there's no pressure. It feels like, oh, great, easy.
Yeah, exactly. So you have Land of Gypsies, and in 2017 you released a solo album called Gypsy Dreams. It's got it's a really great album. It's got among other things fantastic Latin flavored covers of Don Henley's Boys of Summer, which is one of my favorites on that, Peter Gabriel's In Your Eyes, Chris Isaak's Wicked Game, Led Zeppelin, a little bit of other things. What is it about Gypsy that speaks to you? Is that a familial thing? Is that just are you a gypsy at heart? You know, why are you drawn to that?
I'm a gypsy at heart, my friend. I'm a gypsy. I've always been a gypsy. I traveled the world. I lived everywhere, and I don't know where I belong. I belong somewhere for a little while, and then I move on. I am a true gypsy. My family traveled a lot when they were younger. My dad was Spanish, you know, my mom's French. We traveled the world. We don't even know where exactly we're from. So yes, I am truly a modern gypsy, and not just by the looks, because I really look like a gypsy, you know, but I am a true gypsy, yes. And not only because of my background, but also with my my music. I always loved the gypsy music side, whether it's a Tsigan, which is gypsy from Russia and Poland and Romania, or whether it's flamenco. I've always loved that vibe and the lifestyle and everything. And I don't really like the idea of having one home somewhere. I don't really like that.
Yeah. So how did you end up picking the songs on that album? Because it's a great mixture of songs.
Thanks. Songs that I loved. It's all about what you grew up listening to. I said, oh, I mean, not Don Henley, not that particular song, but some other songs like "Whole Lotta Love" is the very first song I ever learned in my life. You know, I've always loved "Whole Lotta Love." I always loved Peter Gabriel, "In Your Eyes," beautiful song. You know, and when I got together with Luis Viegas and Jose Garcia, my guitar players, we started jamming. I said, what do you hear here? You know, and I said, I hear this, I hear that, you know, and I told them, I said, we're not going to do an album that we're not gonna reproduce what's been done before. We got to do something else. And they were surprised because they were very. They said, "Really, you want to do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's take a chance. Life is about taking a chance." So we did them, and the album got great reviews. I mean, it's just fascinating how the reviews and Michael. Ultimately, I'd like to do. I know people may laugh, but I'd like to do a Las Vegas show.
Okay, I can see that actually.
With dancers and everything and big production. That's really my goal, and I hope I can. I talk about it all the time because I want to put it out there in the universe because it's really what I want. I want to end up in Las Vegas or on a cruise ship, not like a lounge band, but at a big production with the dancers and everything. And it's still rock because I still rock those songs. Trust me, I don't,
Yeah.
I really rock those songs. When we do Dio, we do Heaven and Hell, we do Kill the King by Dio. Those are not wimpy songs, but we're gonna do Kashmir. In fact, I'm gonna record Kashmir coming up with a flamenco thing with the violinist and everything. That's one of the next songs we're gonna be doing. But that's really where my heart is. My heart is like, you know what, Terry, do what you want to do because when it's over, it's over. You can look back and say, I did it my way.
I sent your cover of Def Leppard's "Love Bites" to my friend Neil, who does a Def Leppard podcast for him to listen to. So I'm waiting to hear back on that. But you came over to the U.S. from France. You started XYZ 32 years ago. The first album was released in October of 1989. Do you feel like XYZ, it's a great band. Do you feel like you were a little late to the glam metal, hair metal scene?
Oh, completely. We were too late. By the time we were done, the first album came out. Nirvana was already out. We had to fight for space. People were like, oh, those guys are has-been. Those guys are this. We did pretty well. We did very well for the time being, but it was too late. The album would have came out in 1986. Souvenirs would have been a big hit. There's no doubt about it. But we were too late. So it's Inside Out was way too late. But it's okay because, again, you look down and said, well, I learned from that. And I was able to, just like the song Shattered, don't think negative. Say, okay, what can I get out of that? And I was able to do other things in life for a little while and then come back to it and continue my career. So it's okay.
What was it like for you to work with Don Dokken at the time?
Great. Don's a great guy. Don's an artist. He's a little bit, he's a true artist. He likes to. Don is Don Dokken. I said, and now Don Dokken. He's what it is. He's just nobody else like Don Dokken. He's a true artist. He's passionate about his music, about his voice. We had our differences. There's no doubt about it. At one point we didn't talk to each other and everything, but overall years have passed, and I can tell you honestly that I have the highest respect for him, and I think he's a very talented guy. Great songwriter. I think he's underrated, and he should have been bigger than he is. That's what I think of him.
So I know you guys had a reunion. To what extent does XYZ still exist today?
It still exists, Michael. I have an album ready to go. It's finished. Actually, one song needs to be mixed, and that's about it. So it's pretty ready to go. It's just a matter of when are we going to release it and how we're going to be releasing it nowadays, because there's no more labels like Capitol Records or whatever, and the album really doesn't really fit into the Frontiers format unless they decide to accept what we have to offer, because it doesn't sound like the old days. We've grown. It's still XYZ as far as the vocals and the songwriting, but the production is a little bit different. So I don't know if it's going to fit in that format. However, if they're willing to accept that, then perfect.
Yeah, it seems like something that would be up their alley. But
yes,
yeah, I wish you good luck with it, because I think the world's ready for another XYZ album.
Thank you.
You spent about, I think, 8 years with Great White. You came in sort of as a fill-in singer. How did the Great White thing happen? What started it? How did they become aware of you and bring you in?
We're the same agent, Sullivan Big, great agent.
Okay.
And one day they needed a singer because Jack was ill, and they asked me if I could fill in for a show. I said yeah. And then one day led to another one, and I ended up staying almost 9 years. And again, what I have to say is, was wonderful years, wonderful music. Love the band, love the guys. I was not happy the way they let me go. It was very unprofessional by them, and I'll say it to their face if I see them. Other than that, I would always give them a hug. I was always love them. I have nothing bad to say about anybody in the band.
Mm-hmm.
I love Mark. I love Audie. I love Scotty. Bridget is a great person. You know, not one bad thing to say about anybody. I didn't get along with Michael very well because we have different personalities, you know. But you know, he's a talented artist as well. So I have nothing to say about him. Nothing bad to say. Just life goes on. I'm very happy. I'm very happy in where I am right now. I'm grateful and blessed to have achieved what I have achieved, and you know, it was a blessing to be let go, actually.
Yeah, when one door closes, another one opens.
Yeah, I'm a prolific songwriter, so I write for a lot of things, and I need to do a little bit more than the same thing every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That's all.
When you became a full-time member of Great White, that couldn't have been the original plan, right? I mean, there must have been some other plan that kind of didn't work out the way they thought.
Was never meant to be, actually. I
Yeah.
was supposed to be what they called me the Band-Aid. I was supposed to be there for a couple of shows, and that's it. And I felt kind of, it's a very difficult project taking over Jack's. Jack's voice is great, and you know, I was like, oh, fuck, taking, you know, his songs and everything. I didn't feel comfortable at first, you know, and it was difficult, but it took some time to get there. But the fans eventually, after 8 years, more than that, actually, after the first year was difficult. After that, the fan loved me, and they realized I was the real deal, and I didn't try to sing like him or trash his voice or trash his legacy or anything like it, which I would never do. I have utmost respect for Jack, and utmost respect for the band itself. Great White, they have accomplished great songs, and I'm a big fan of the band, and wish them the very best.
Yeah, I actually have had Jack on the show recently, and just as the person who came into the band afterwards, what was that schism like between Jack and Mark from your perspective? Like how did things fall apart? Because it seemed like he was just going to be sick, and then he was going to get over and come back, and it just didn't work out that way.
I wouldn't want to be involved with that. I don't know. Jack's a friend. Mark was my friend. I don't usually get involved. I just say that those two were great together, and you know, I can't say. That's all I can say. I say, you know, I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't want to be involved with that, you know, situation.
Okay. You also put out an album called Hired Gun, which was your, you know, when people would have you on their albums as a singer. And I wondered if that was difficult for you to be able to get permission to do that, to put, you know, bring other people's music together. And
No, not difficult. There was only one difficult album I couldn't get from Japan. I've done a lot of things in Japan. I couldn't get those rights, which is too bad. But other than that, no, I just talked to the artist directly and said, hey, do you mind? No, I'll take the song. I don't care. You know, people were pretty kind and nice about it, and I had no issues. You know, it was very, very easy. I had about 40 songs to choose from, and I was like, fuck, I can only put 10. Well, so I may do a follow-up to that. But and actually since then I had to sing on other people's album as well. I'm like, oh man, I get more songs. So, you know.
Yeah, it must be troublesome trying to gather everything and keep everything in one catalog, in one nice easy place. But you've done so many things. You've done the glam metal thing. You've done this Land of Gypsies thing, which is more of a 70s type throwback. You've done flamenco. You've done this Latin flavored covers albums and stuff like that. I'm sure you write a lot. How many albums worth of material do you think you have just sitting around waiting to get recorded?
I think I got 70 songs ready to go.
Wow.
Yeah, some of them are bad, actually. I had not done some of them crap, but some of them are pretty good. A lot of blues stuff, a lot of I'm like, wow, this is pretty good stuff. And some of them are like, eh. and some of them need collaboration. So I'm not saying everything is great. I'm just saying that I do have about 70 songs, 70 ideas. Some of them almost finished. Some of them, So we'll see, you know.
Terry, where can people find you online, and where can they pick up this Land of Gypsies release?
Well, Michael, as far as Land of Gypsies, they have to go through Frontiers because they own the rights. For frontiers.com. As far as myself getting a hold of me, they can get a hold of me through on sites like Instagram, Facebook, of course, you know, and on my own website, terryilous.com. But on Instagram, it's just Terry Ilous. That's it, you know, and on Facebook, Terry Ilous. And I always, if people want to contact me, I always reply. Even if it takes me a few weeks, I always reply. You know, I know I'm behind. I got a lot of things to reply, but I know I'm behind. I got like 70 emails, you know, that I have to. But I promised everyone, yes, I will reply. I would even just say a word like, thank you so much for the support. Because as an artist myself, as a fan myself, I'm very lucky, very, very grateful when I contact an artist and I get an answer. Once I got an answer from Lou Gramm, I was excited about that. I still have the email. It's like, oh, Jerry, you know, like, Lou Gramm, you know.
Legend, Lou Gramm.
Oh, Lou Gramm's a legend, man. So I was excited about that. I kept that email, that you know, picture of it. I'm like, Lou Gramm.
Oh, Terry, it's been great catching up with you and finding out about Land of Gypsies and
Thank you.
You know, your career. I hope it does very well for you. It's a great album. I recommend it to anybody who grew up loving that classic rock sound. It's just a really well-written album. The songs are catchy. It's one of those albums you can put on, and as soon as it's over, you want to put it back on again. And I've learned, you know, I've enjoyed learning this. Thank you so much for your time. It's been great.
Thank you, Michael. Happy New Year to you and your family, and wish you health and all the good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.